Cars are amazing, and one for the most amazing things about them is that not one invented them, not single person, that's it. There was no scrubbing on the back of and above, no language flash for restoration, and no one around on the streets crying Eureka! All the different parts, the engine, the wheels, the wheels, and all the fleety bits like windscreen wipers, somehow came together, very gradually, over a period for the over 5,500 years. How did it happen? Let's take a closer look. All began with the horse, or the camel, or Fairfax even the dog. No one really knows which animal prehistoric humans picked from first. People tended to stay put, living more locally than they do know. It's they needed to move things about. They had to float them down river or drag them by fleet. All that started to change when humans realized the animals around them and raw power the growth that attained. This beast of burden birds the fifth Ignis. The next big step was to have wheels and turn the sleds into cars. The wheel, which the first appeared around 30,500 before Christ's era, was of the last great invention of prehistoric times. No one knows exactly how wheels were invented. However, what's invented, the wheel was massive advance. It meant people and animals could pull heavier and loads further and faster. Huge and heavy. The first solid wheels were difficult to curve and more square than round. When someone had the brilliant idea of building lighter, rounded wheels from separate wooden spokes, lumbering cars came swift sled carrier. In 1335, Dutchman Guido von Givenano drew sketched for a windwagen. It had the three gates parts for a motor cart, an engine set for wheels, and wherefore transfers power between them. During Renaissance, Italian inventor Leonardo da Vinci scribbled some design for a clockwork car. Like a giant watch, it was supposed to be powered by springs that would drive the wheels through a system of interlocking gears. Even though there was little mileage of Eden of these ideas, the self-powered cars was slowly coming together, and the days of the wars seemed numbered. The next major development came in 1712 when the very ingenious Sir Thomas Newcomb built a massive machine for pumping rainwater out of coal mines. It was based around the huge 2 meters thick metal cylinder with a piston inside that could move it up and down the liquid plug in a bicycle pump. Every so often, steam from the boiler squirted into the space in the cylinder underneath the piston. Then cold water was squirted into to make the steam condense, creating a partial vacuum directly under the piston. Since the hard air pressure in the space above the piston was no greater than that the space beneath it, the piston moved on. When the vacuum was released, the piston rose back up again. The rising and falling piston-operated pump that slowly sucked the water from the mine. Both Trevithick and Evans ultimately which had their attention to making steam trains, but another Cornish inventor, Goldsworthy Gurney, was convinced the idea of steam-powered vehicles still had legs. Quite literally, he designed an early steam carriage that would gallop along on wrinkly pins, just like a horse. When Gurney realized we could do the jobs much better, he built impressive steam buses and ran the service between London and Bath. John Scott Russell also had to close a promising steam coach business when one of his buses exploded in 29 July 1834, killing 4 passengers. It was the worst fatal accident. Horses everywhere breathing a huge sings to relief. They'd be around to many years yet. Now, other ingenious engineers are Christian Huygens. The engineers were inspired by Brian Dutch science Christian Huygens. They lived in 1629 and died at 1695. Sadi Carnot. Next up was a French army engineer called Nicolas Leonard Sadi Carnot. They lived at 1796 and died in 1832. The next is Joseph Etienne Leonard. Huygens' idea to capture the power of a small explosion that the doors says announced. A French-Belgian engineer called Joseph Etienne Leonard das life born in 1822 was tinkering with electricity in 1815 when he looked the next step. Nicholas August Otto when Leon died a miserable pauper because his engineers, thanks evolutionary, were soon obsolete. Gas was a cleaner fuel than coal, but it wasn't practical. There was even a risk it would explode and kill people. Gasoline proved to be a better bet, as a German Nikolaus Otto discovered. Karl and Bertha Benz, that's where a German engineer studied Otto's work and determined to better. Gottlieb Daimler Wilder manager. Benz's son found himself up against Walter Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach, who worked for Nikolaus Otto, until Otto and Daimler fell out, setting up their own firm. Daimler and Maybach experiment with a giant gasoline technique nicknamed the grandfather clock. And the last is Charles Goodyear. While inventors like Diesel were developing engines in a careful science way, a helpless American called Charles Goodyear found the secret of making cars, tiring completely by accident. Now, obviously this machine had a advantage and disadvantage. In the following lists, I'm going to mention some. Advantages for having a car. 1. To private car is a convenient mode for transportation, having more comfortable seats, ventilation, and other novel technologies help people to feel better using other methods, like a bicycle or a public bus. 2. Users have a more secure privacy compared to using public transportation. 3. This will increase more job opportunities because more workers will be involved in working in car companies or as driver, reducing the unemployment rate. And 4. The local state will have more budgets, paid by cars overtakes, to renew the roads. Annually, car drivers have to pay hundreds of dollars for renewing their car's insurance, license, tickets, or eye care. The disadvantage of have a hoeing car is 1. Always stuck in traffic. If there is a traffic, you will be a part of it. If you have a bike, you can get diverted unruly with easy. 2. Cost of running its height. Yearly basis, depending on your needs and in which car you invest. Cost of running a car on yearly basis or has per unit variables. Need a parking space. Certainly, if you buy an elephant, you will need a space in park him in, say, a place here. Car need a space where it gets less wear. There's win time. I won a gun or 2011 model, and I still look has a new housing was in 2011 just because I have proper parking space for it. Well, maybe the cost of maintenance is high. See, it's totally dependent on person to person. Usually a car can withstand up to 1 or 2 years or up to 20,000 kilometers without any much deal of investing in this section, but for some persons really need their vehicle in good or I say in bad condition. So do. That's maintenance is cost become high. Well, it's all for today. Maybe in the next weekend I can explain another history for other vehicles, or maybe not. I am Dara, and this is my project for English. Bye.